Nitram. Martin, why is Trick Williams the greatest NXT wrestler of all time?
So you just want to start off hot bashing people. So y'all can play your little hater alerts and all this stuff. Trick Williams, I will say this: Trick Williams is probably the most over NXT champion they've ever had, but he's the worst wrestler, the worst in-ring NXT champion they've ever had as well, all at the same time.
I don't know, man. He's great. Mike, how you feel about this?
I don't know how I feel about those comments right now. He said he's the and you know how worst is a very strong word when you're talking like wrestling ability. He's a good wrestler. That's what NXT once again is developmental, so he's developing as champion. I have no problems with this title run.
Hold on, Mike. Hear me out though. Was he better than Seth Rollins when Seth held the title? No. Wasn't better than Big E. Wasn't better than Bo Dallas. Wasn't better than Finn Balor. Wasn't
time.
Time out. Technical foul.
No. Hold on.
That's hard.
On the T. You just named a bunch. You just named a bunch of former independent wrestlers or New Japan stars that have held that title. Trick Williams does not have that same, background. He is a WWE talent bred for this role. So to kind of you're comparing apples to oranges here.
No,
in
I'm
my
comparing
personal
NXT
opinion.
champions.
You're
NXT champions.
All right, guys. Let's put it
4 years.
All right, let's put a pin on this. Let's put a pin on this. As you can see, we got Marlon off of Mike with us today. We're gonna have a great show for you guys. So let's get into it.
Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
Hey guys, I'm your host today, Chano Hayes, Chano Rose, Chano Theory, and I'm here with my guys, Marlon off of Mike Podcast. He's on with us tonight. Much love. Appreciate you for coming on, brother. I got the Zombiiking and Junior Flow, and our resident hater, the man who hates everything, Nitram.
Man, I thought that was your label, bro.
No. Listen, I'm not a hater when Martin's on the show. When Martin's not on the show, I'm the hater of the show. But when Martin's here, it's all bro. It's all him. I can't do nothing about that.
Honesty is key, y'all. Honesty is key.
Thank you.
I'm crying.
Okay, let me see. So, how do we guys feel about SmackDown this week?
It was good. I like that. Decent.
It was a go-home show.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a go-home show, but it felt very weird. You know what I mean? I felt like I couldn't get a good grasp on things. Overall, I feel like Saudi shows feel really weird to me as a viewer. You know what I mean? Because it's like I never know what really to expect because I know they don't allow a lot of things over there. They have their own government and whole things how to operate things. So it's extremely weird to me. I'm just getting used to the women in the full bodysuits situation, but to each their own. The E makes a shit ton of money off them. So so it is what it is, you know what I mean? But honestly, one thing that sticks out to me is Bayley's title run. I know all of us has been kind of wary on Cody's title run and like how it kind of feels like it hasn't like evolved or stepped into anything. But I feel like we could say the same thing about Bayley. You know what I mean? I love Bayley, but it feels like she hasn't gotten the respect that she clearly deserves. She won the Royal Rumble. She wasn't on any promotional posters for WrestleMania. She wasn't on the kickoff show for WrestleMania when they did it in Vegas when Cody decided he was going after Roman. She hasn't been on any of the pay-per-view posters. She missed She missed the Saudi show. She wasn't on the King and Queen of the Ring thing as a match. So does it feel like we're fumbling Bayley's title run a little bit?
Maybe yes and no, but I always consider Bayley a better contender than a champion. So I feel like anytime she gets a big title, I feel like it's the same routine. It's like exciting at first, and then it kind of just this kind of just simmers down, but very quickly for some reason. I don't know. I feel like she's just better as a contender, as a champion.
I feel that way about most babyface champions, to be honest. Martin, okay. Mike, how do you guys feel about Bayley's title run?
You want to go first, Mike, or me?
Go ahead, you shoot. You're the hater of the year, so.
Look, I'm very key on Bayley. I think Bayley is the second out of the best of the 4 horsewomen, personally. I think what it is for me is that her transition from heel to face still doesn't land with me, because I loved her so much as a heel. She carried the company during the pandemic as a heel, and it worked so well for her. And I feel like her being babyface but still looking that heel part doesn't really work for me. Like, I wanted Bayley to come back face, and I don't know, I wanted the wavy inflappable 2 men to come back just one time where they just whoosh, whoosh, and like she got this big pop. She doesn't need the pony. She doesn't need the ponytail. I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying, like, I wanted the old Bayley. Like, I would have popped if I heard that old music and I saw inflatable 2 men just pop up. I would have went crazy. And I don't know, I just feel like I prefer her more as the heel. I don't think it has anything to do with like her being a babyface champion. I think it's just her as a babyface right now is already stale. So that's the issue.
I'll piggyback off that, and I can agree to it, because, like, look, you know, Bayley came from being like the cleanest cut of baby faces. You know, she's a hugger. She's, you know, the kids loved her. And then all of a sudden, you know, she comes out there and cuts up the wacky inflatable, you know, waving 2 men, and, you know, and that's it. Yeah. Now she's a heel, you know. So I think Martin's got a point here, because her baby face character right now does not have like a clear cut, you know, direction for her. Like, it's basically, you know, she turned face from the heel persona. She still calls herself the role model. You know, she still wears the similar gear, and, you know, and like Martin said, you know, the presentation is basically the same as she was as a heel. So I can see that point where it's like her as a face is not clicking as well as it did as a heel. The title reign itself, I'm in the party of kind of like same kind of thing with Cody, not to compare. You know, we're about, you know, a month removed from WrestleMania. We're going to be on 2 months, you know, starting in just a few days, you know, with June coming up. Yeah. I'm going to let things kind of build, and I'm going to let the new women that we saw drafted to SmackDown kind of start filling in those kind of gaps that we've been missing for her contenders. You know, we have a couple, you know, women, one in particular I think would make some magic with Bayley as a heel and Bayley being the face, Blair Davenport coming up the pipeline. So I think they're going to start kind of working on that women's division and starting to set up her contenders. But first on foremost, you know, you got to talk about Nia Jax, you know, at the end of the day, because that's her next 100%. Challenge, not to spoil, you know, the King and Queen of the Ring results if you haven't seen it yet. But, you know, I know we'll get to it. But I like Bayley. But, yeah, something's not clicking. And WWE's doing her injustice by not including her on the promotional materials, which I don't understand why she's not.
100%.
It's weird, man. SmackDown's in a weird place where Nia is obviously the biggest heel, and she's SummerSlam bound, and there's nothing really for her at the moment. But let's go on to another set of disappointing champions, and Theory and Waller. I feel like listen, I'm a big Theory fan, man. I love Austin Theory. To me, like, he is just untapped potential. But for some reason, he just cannot connect with the audience. Like, this isn't really like AEW or like TNA where people watch you for your technical prowess. You know what I mean? I feel like the crowd gives you a little more leeway when they see that you know what you're doing in the ring. WWE fans, for the most part, are casuals. You know what I mean? So they really connect for more character work. Can you cut a promo on the mic? Can you get me to react in a certain way? Or your character work, and then in-ring work is secondary. I feel like Waller does a great job at that, so he's helping carry Theory in that sense. But still, as they haven't had a title defense yet, and it's kind of like, what are we doing? Even the Awesome Truth and the Miz had about 2 title defenses, 1 or 2.
Yeah. They just keep accepting them.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like, bro, every time they go out there, I expect them to lose. I don't expect this to be a multi-month title run. You know what I mean? So what exactly are we holding on to for Grayson Waller and Austin Theory? Because once again, they weren't on the card either. They wasn't on the Backlash card. They wasn't on the King of Queen of the Ring card. I'm sure they have. If they had a title defense, I must have missed it. But my man's just skating by with 2 months, no title defense. Is somebody hurt? And then they don't know how to tell us what, so they just cutting promos and doing what they're doing? Because they was in a 6-man tag match with Melo, and they were doing their thing. So what exactly is the disconnect here? Any inputs, any thoughts, guys?
Wow. I think Theory is the issue with the tag team. Not because I'm not saying that because he's a bad wrestler, or a bad promo, or a bad look. Because honestly, he's got it all. You know, not trying to sound weird. He's a good-looking dude. He's got good mic skills, and he's a great wrestler. Mm-hmm. I think the problem with Theory is the same problem that Baron Corbin had years ago, where at one point in time in programming, he was forced down us, and now he just needs a sour taste. When the whole, old man was in charge and, he was doing things, he was part of that storyline. He treated him like a son. He was constantly pushed into the storylines where we didn't want him. He used the Money in the Bank to cash in on Seth Rollins because we didn't want him. He lost that, which was weird. He was just forced down our throats. And now when we see him instantly, we're just like, oh, that's the old man's guy. Like, they even roasted him for that when they're like, your daddy's gone. It's just, he has a sour taste. He has a sour taste when I see him. And it honestly reminds me of what happened to Baron Corbin years ago when he was doing like the GM weird thing he was doing. It was too much of him at one time. And now I can't get over
it. Interesting perspective, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see that. I mean, if you ever listen to the podcast, I'm not the highest on Theory, but I still like them as a tag team. Don't know if I like the title. I think it was a good choice in the beginning. I feel the chemistry they had made me like Theory when I didn't like Theory, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. The title reign is lackluster, but I think it's lackluster because who is there really? Who do we have?
They got people. They have
DIY.
They have the Street Profits.
They have plenty of people.
That's about it.
Joe and Garza. You got the Delgado boys.
True.
Who else? I know we had a good division. I know SmackDown had a good tag division. I'm just trying to. I know there's a few I'm escaping.
At once, but let's be honest. Who can take the titles? Street Profits. That's probably the only one, but they're so 50-50 right now. Like, you guys heels or your faces? What do you got?
You got the Tangaloa and his brother.
Oh, very true. You have Tangaloa and Tama Tonga.
I forgot about them.
I wouldn't mind that for them getting some gold.
They haven't even given it to us though yet. They haven't even had them formally as a team. Something I probably would expect maybe this week on SmackDown to pop up. Maybe
they should something.
I don't. Maybe because they're no longer in Saudi. Then I think they're in Albany this week. Well, yeah. Today, when this episode comes out, they'll be in Albany today. But yeah, it's a very short division. It's kind of like in a sense where if you have a babyface tag team champion, it kind of puts you in a pickle because you only have 2-3 people to beef with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird, but overall, it's a very weird thing that it's been 2 months, 2 pay-per-views, or 2 PLEs, and they don't have a defense in. That's honestly extremely weird to me, and I just want it to make sense. I just really want it to make sense. My last question for SmackDown, it's not even a SmackDown question. This is a WWE question. When do we think we're going to see the Wyatt Six?
June 17th.
Oh, exactly? Oh, you had an exact date.
I got an exact date for you. Listen, fellas, I don't know if you guys caught the whole Uncle Howdy breakdown from 2 weeks ago. I am deep in the rabbit hole, fellas. Like I am involved in this.
Conspiracy theorist right now.
I love it. I love, like, being a detective, a fake detective, and scanning QR codes and trying to figure out what this means and breaking down this and watching these Twitch streams. Like, what WWE's been doing with this has been incredible. I know there's people out there that are impatient about, like, oh, when they debuting, this isn't going to be the same because Bray's gone. Look, I'm in the party where it's like, look, his brother is closely involved in this, and I don't think WWE or the creative minds involved would let this fly if they didn't feel in their core that this is going to honor and continue Bray's legacy. If they didn't feel that from the beginning, I don't think they'd be doing this. So to those people out there, I say, just take it easy. But I think from the last QR code that we saw, and if you go back to the journal entries website, I don't know if you guys have been following this, but there's a whole bunch of journal entries on one of the QR codes, and they get updated weekly. Fun fact. So the journal entries actually there's been a few journal entries that have been added. So different journal entries. The newest one, every first letter of every word spelled out June, and then in Roman numerals with the letters 17th.
Why do I feel you have a room in your house with a bunch of pictures and a bunch of lines? You ever see that meme with the guy smoking?
Yeah, it's always sunny, brother. I love me some Charlie Day, dude. I'm out there like Charlie, just
figuring it out.
Who's there? And this makes sense. Wait a minute.
It connects. I'm telling you, it all connects.
It connects. Oh no, yeah. Dude, I'm deep in the hole, man. I love this stuff.
All right, so June 17th is a Monday Night Raw.
17th. Mark it down in your calendar.
That's a Monday Night Raw. I guess we got a whole. Listen, if he doesn't come out June 17th, you can find me accountable for Mike on Twitter and Instagram.
I love it. Yeah, it's the post Raw after Clash at the Castle, so it could be a good spot, depending upon what happens at Clash to kind of play off on that.
All right, so let's jump straight into the King and Queen of the Ring, guys. First of all, how do we feel about the show?
It was good.
What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? Let's start with that.
I'm gonna be honest. It was solid wrestling. I had no complaints about it. So when I think of my least favorite, I'm gonna say the pre-show match. But even that was good.
That was a good match.
It was really good.
Yeah, like I can't hate on the show. It had solid wrestling, and that's all I ever asked for. I can't be like, oh, it's too entertainment. It was solid wrestling. And I said this
too entertainment.
I was too entertained.
I said this to Marcus. It reminded me of the old Black and Gold NXT takeovers, and I used to love those shows, and that's what this. So to me, it's top.
I did see that a lot. I did see that. Okay, so give me a favorite, least favorite. You're not exempt from this. I don't care how much you love the show. What was your favorite and least favorite?
Least favorite, I'm gonna go the pre-show match. For time reasons, they didn't have a lot of time, but they killed it. My favorite, I'm gonna give it to Nia and Valkyria.
Attaboy.
What a story they told. And you guys know I was gonna be stuck on the ending, but I'm with it. What a story they told, and it did the Yokozuna finish. I'm all for it. It was great.
It's a great ending, man. Listen.
Yeah, man.
We acknowledge our tribal queen.
Yeah, man.
I will hold the one up for that one.
We acknowledge the tribal queen. All right, Mike, what about you? What was your favorite, least favorite?
Man, favorite for me, I gotta give it to Big Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, and Chad Gable, man. Triple threat, stole the show for me. It was a great match, great storytelling with it. I mean, least favorite, I would say maybe Liv and Becky. There was a few instances where things felt a little rushed, like they weren't letting things sit properly. But like, what am I? It was still a great match. If you were to put twist my arm, I'd say least favorite was that match. I just felt there was points where they could have slowed down a little bit. It felt a little rushed towards the end.
That's fair. What about you, Ant?
100%. Everything was good. I mean,
everything was good. No dislikes.
Everything was good. If I had to pick, least was the tag match. I could have not seen it and been fine, but it was still somewhat entertaining. Favorite? It's so hard because I'm a big Nia Jax fan. I can go with her. I feel like this was one of the best Logan Paul matches he's had, and I'm not a big Logan Paul fan. And Randy Orton just proves why he's the GOAT of this business. So out of those three, I'm gonna have to go with Randy just because he's Randy.
Listen, I hear it. Honestly, this was a really good card.
You can learn so much from that match. Ring psychology, timing, positioning, physicality. You can study that match for days and days and find new ways to do stuff. So, love it.
I like it.
I get it. Overall, this was a really good card, right? Extremely good card. My only quarrel with the card, too short. Once again, we have several titles that haven't been defended in a little while. You know what I mean? The women's title and the WWE Tag Team Championships. Honestly, one of my other issues with the card, listen, I know Saudi loves Logan Paul because whenever Logan Paul comes to Saudi, he's fighting for the belt, right? They probably pay extra for that. And I'm not mad at it. Listen, Logan Paul is an extremely talented wrestler. Like, if Cody said, the moment Logan Paul decides to do this full-time, he will become world champion. And there is no doubt about that in my mind.
I hate to agree, but yeah.
Him full-time at this point.
Bro, if he would decide to do this full-time, he'd be a beast.
I mean, he's
showing up.
He's showing up. I mean, if he was here...
He's on TV, I want to say 3 out the 4 weeks, sometimes maybe 2. He does it too, but he's getting there. He's not having some TV matches on a regular basis, but
listen, I can't knock the man. It's not in his contract to wrestle weekly, and I'm not mad at it.
Right.
But I do stand by it. If he was to take this full time, he'd be world champion. He's honestly the full package. He's everything that you could want from one of your wrestlers, and we got to acknowledge. He was a celebrity wrestler that excelled at this and decided to do this full time. Not even full time. He decided to do this and come on and do matches.
What's up, Ringsiders?
At first, it was the Big Four. Now he's doing Big Four and Saudi shows. I'm not mad at it. The man is extremely talented.
Action live and in person.
And I will say this: I give
score a fantastic
extreme props to Cody Rhodes
final
for
ticket purchase by
dragging every inch of talent and performance out of Logan Paul. Martin said this in the group chat. Logan Paul will probably never be able to top this match. And he's probably right. This was a complete match from Logan Paul. The only other person I can see Logan having this type of quality match with is probably a Gunther, probably an AJ Styles.
Seth Rollins.
I think Seth and Logan's match at Mania was on
really
par
good
with Cody and his. I think they're pretty close for me.
I will say this, though. I feel like Logan is head and shoulders a better wrestler right now than what he was when he faced Seth at Mania.
Oh, I agree. I agree to that.
So he's head and shoulders a better wrestler. So I feel like if they were to wrestle right now, it'd be a totally different match. I feel like Logan understands more.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So, well, what about you, Ant? As a wrestler, what do you see in Logan's growth as a wrestler?
A lot. I mean, timing, positioning, when, why, when to sell, when not to sell, when to oversell, when to undersell, when to do this, when to do that. I mean, half of wrestling is footwork and timing. In wrestling, it's footwork and timing. You know, it's being there when you need to be there and all that. So, but to be in Logan Paul position, same thing with Dominic. You're in there with like the best of the best. How can you not become good? You're in there, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Rey Mysterio. Yeah, I'm gonna drop his name in there. Bunch of haters, but you know, how can you not become good? You have to.
No, that's it. That's facts.
To. So to say that the match was back then versus now with Seth Rollins, it'll be a different match, 10 times different match.
And I do agree with that. Logan is an incredible wrestler. I feel like we all knew the title wasn't going to change hands.
Of course.
Yeah, I feel like Cody's the savior. He's not losing a belt at a Saudi show to Logan Paul. That's just
Green
not
Ranger
happening.
at this point. He's not
the Green Ranger. He's the Red Ranger. He stands for all that's good and right in the wrestling world.
Except
he will never be Tommy. He won't be Jason. I'll give him Rocky. He's Rocky, the Red Ranger, second generation Red Ranger.
You give him the movie?
I give him the second. I give him the second Red Ranger, Rocky.
Damn. Jason, all right. I see that.
Jason and Tommy are gods to me. You know what I mean? They're gods. Tommy is reserved for Roman Reigns when he turns face. All right, man. That's safe for Roman. Let's see the other world title match. Becky and Liv.
Yeah,
I will say this. Becky also is one of those wrestlers that can draw talent out of everybody she wrestles with, except Zoe Starks. Because all three of those matches were terrible. all three of them were bad. The last one was good.
Chemistry.
But chemistry was just
work on it.
But Liv and Becky, it was a good match. I personally enjoyed it. I didn't think Liv was winning. Did any of you guys see Liv picking up the W?
I did.
And no.
I was 50-50 on it.
I have proof because I was on Drop the Mic and I said I see Liv taking it if Dom got involved, and he did. I said that Dom would help her win. That's not really what happened, but technically he did. So I was right.
He said I was right, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
See, I went with Liv there, but I kind of started to rethink that pick because I was like, well, what if WWE decides they're gonna let Lyra win Queen of the Ring, and then now you got Lyra versus Becky for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, which is another solid match because Becky lost to Lyra for the NXT title. So I was like, maybe they go a little bit of storytelling there. So I was 50-50 on it at that point. And then when Nia won, I was like, okay, everything makes sense in the world.
Yeah.
It does.
You can still get that storyline. That's always.
Oh, open. Absolutely. That door's completely wide open. Yeah.
We won't get it for a little while. Yeah, apparently her contract is up as of June 1st, and she's going to take some time with the family.
I think she's signed, and I think she's going to just take some time off. I think they locked the contract up, dude. Like, that's totally.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. As her and Seth, they are full-time parents. They do travel on the road with the baby a lot of times. It's time to kick their feet up, do some family time, and just relax. You know what I mean? The road isn't friendly to anybody, especially while having. I think their daughter and my son is around the same age, and it's not easy having a toddler. It's their world. We just live in it. You know what I mean? So good for them taking some time off for themselves. Becky did the WWE a big favor, coming back so soon after Mania, filling in, doing the Europe tour, winning the world title at the Battle Royale, and giving Liv some credibility because that's exactly what she did. It's not like Liv won this in a Battle Royale because they're like, man, they just gave it to her. No, she beat a very tough Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
A woman that she's never been able to beat.
And that's the crazy part. Liv's story finally comes full circle. She was number 2 at everything. Royal Rumbles, Elimination Chambers, Battle Royales.
Half circle. Full circle is Rhea.
Full circle, man.
Full circle is Rhea.
She still needs to be Rhea.
Full circle, nah, she's beating Rhea. She is the last person to pin Rhea Ripley.
But not for the title.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Okay. Maybe.
Listen, she's still the last person to pin Rhea. I'd take that 1,000% of the way.
Injured, so I guess injury for injury. So, yeah, that's full circle.
So, it is full circle. Congrats to her. If there's anybody more deserving, it is Liv. She's been close so many times. I'm not mad at it. And listen, Dirty Dom, you dog. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that on Monday when we get to Raw, guys. Let's get to the triple threat match. Sammy, Bronson, and Gable. Me personally, this was my favorite match of the night, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. I love Gable. I love Sammy. I love the big meaty men, Bronson Reed. These new generation of big men, they just move so well, so well.
Yeah,
him, Ivar, Otis, all those big dudes, they move. Yes, all of them move so well, man, and it's amazing to see. And they had extreme great chemistry, amazing chemistry. Even to the ending when Otis was so conflicted, and then Sammy got out and he hit Gable. Oh, it was beautiful, and it sets up for the next storyline for Gable versus Sammy, 1v1 at Clash, and that's gonna be great. What are you guys' thoughts on that match?
I have 2 things.
Okay, what to do?
Okay, I think I just lost the first one I was gonna say. Good opening memory, but. The second thing, I think that was an incredible match. Incredible, good 3-way. when you deal with more than one person in the ring, it can always be a clusterfuck. But sometimes when you get that, it's always like always keep one out. You know what I mean? So it's like one, and then you knock out the person. But it was never that point. It was always 3 against 3. Like all the spots were 3. All of them attacking each other at once. So I really like that. Chad, this is my big thing. All right, we talked so much about LA Knight. Oh, he reminds me of The Rock and the way he talks and all that. And then I'm watching that match. I'm like, Kurt Angle does that. Kurt Angle did that. Kurt Angle is that. You're using what the fuck? I'm watching a Kurt Angle match right now.
That's actually mad.
Hey,
that's
if
mad
funny.
Say
something about LA Knight. Oh, he's just doing this. We gotta say something about Chad, because if you close, if I can't say if you close your eyes, but it was just like watching a Kurt Angle match. It was basically everything but the Angle Slam.
I will say this: I think when you transition from being a wrestler, a traditional wrestler, to actually going into wrestling, you unknowingly take some of Kurt's moveset. You know what I mean? Because you got the ankle lock. You got the takedowns. You know what I mean? So it's like, listen, I get it. That's honestly hilarious. I love that you called me out for that, because I didn't even think about that.
Down the straps one day, you put the mouth guard in. I'm like, that's it. That's to shave your head.
He's getting the
he's getting the "you suck" chance, bro. You're already like halfway there at this point,
He's Kurt Gable. I love it. Honestly, I would love it so much if Kurt Angle came out to manage him and he hit somebody with the Angle Slam. I would love that so much. I would pop. I would lose my absolute mind. I would go insane.
That'd be so good.
It's good. What about you, Martin? Especially since you love Mr. Angle.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows Kurt Angle is my favorite wrestler of all time. That's my guy. I love Kurt Angle. I have a soft spot for him. Gonna meet him at WrestleCade. Super excited. I don't care how much it is. Oh, I don't care how much it is. I'm paying to meet Kurt Angle. I love the match. I like Chad Gable because he reminds me of Kurt Angle. And there was a point, and I'm gonna throw the whole flashback here. There was that storyline when Kurt Angle was GM, and he had the illegitimate son. And I said, "Oh, it's Chad Gable." And for some reason, they chose Jason Jordan, because I guess he was bald. Yeah. I was like, y'all just missed the whole point. Like, the whole point.
Let's be real here. No, Vince McMahon did that because Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, it'd be such good shit if his son was Jason Jordan." Such good shit. Oh, Vince McMahon.
The old man was just a mark for himself. He was a mark for his own ideas.
He just wanted to pop himself sitting there in that fucking seat. That's all he did. All his booking was because he liked it. That's it. That's the only way to explain it.
I could totally see Vince sitting there and they're like, "So we're gonna make a Chad? No, it'd be funny if it was the black one. Put the black. Kurt has a black son." And then, to him, that was hilarious.
And then the long-term story was Kurt Angle loved Charmel. You could have spun it there.
Okay.
Oh man, I love that. That's hilarious.
But back to this match. What I love is what Zombiiking said. This was a triple threat match that didn't necessarily follow the triple threat rules, and I love that because there was a time where it might have been like the first 5 minutes in, Sammy and Chad were just going at it, and Bronson Reed kind of just looks at him and is like, "Nah, I'm here too," and he just takes them both out one shot. Like, don't forget about me. And at first when I was watching it, because I was watching it in Florida, I was sitting there, I was like, man, I just would have let them tire themselves out. But I was like, nah, that's a prideful thing. I kind of like that. But man, the spots, the suplexes, the spots, everything they did, him doing the slam onto bro. It was just incredible. But it was one of those matches that when I saw it on paper, I was just like, oh well, Sammy can't lose. Sammy was too over in Saudi. The whole point of him coming in was a political move in a sense. It's just too over. I was like, there's no chance of Sammy losing here. But they gave us a banger, and that's always okay.
What about you?
Yeah, Mike? I was partial to think Bronson Reed was going to pull this out because Sammy and Chad were just going to be beating the shit out of each other, and Bronson's just going to be like, all right, cool. Let me just hit this tsunami and dip on out with this Intercontinental Championship. That's what I kind of, I guess, fantasy booked in my head. And I see, Martin's point, 100%. Sami Zayn, man, you've seen the entrances he has gotten in Saudi Arabia, and they love him. So,
yeah,
honestly, not too, unpredictable there where he's going to retain the championship. I want to see what's next for Sami. Is he going back? Is him and Chad going to continue this into Clash of the Castle season? Is this going to continue throughout the summer? Because last summer, around this same time, I said that Chad was going to beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and it never happened. So is it, a year later, is that finally going to happen? And, kind of quick sidebar here, 30 seconds, not to derail your episode, but can we just talk about, I love that WWE's kind of been breaking up some of those old wrestling tropes that we've seen, in matches. Mm-hmm. I think it's very slick on their end to kind of keep people guessing.
It's great television, man. I love when they do break it up because as a fan, Martin's been getting on my ass because I want more unpredictability. But that does not mean I want Lyra Valkyrie to become Queen of the Ring. I hate it. I absolutely hated the note. I hated the notion of it. I swear to God, I did. You know what I mean? I still. You know what? Guess what? I think I'm a hypocrite, guys. I want wrestling unpredictable, but the way I like it, right?
Okay, you're Tony Khan. You're just Tony Khan at this point.
Yes, yeah. Oh, listen. I want to play with my real life action figures and make it come out how I want it to come out. That's exactly what I want. I'm a hypocrite. I can't help it. I can't help it. Let's get to the King and the Queen of the Ring matches. Personally, talking about Lyra, I'm so glad that she got her ass dropped by Queen, the tribal queen, Nia Jax. Because I'm not going to hold you. I saw that finisher. She murdered old girl. I'm surprised she came up on Monday.
That was a nice finish.
Have you guys ever seen Flat Stanley? We're all older. You remember Flat Stanley in school?
Yeah.
To me that was Lyra after the match. She was Flat Stanley, just like Gumby, just wobbling over to the back. When she popped up on Monday, perfectly fine. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I guess she didn't kill her.
They could have sold it a little more on Monday.
She was taped up.
I would have loved
that tape up, bro.
Listen, I would have. The tape was cool.
Bro, not on her ribs.
Listen, I a big gal. She destroyed all of her from waist up, destroyed. But I did love the match. I love the finish because as soon as I saw the finish, I was like, yeah, eat that, Martin. take that for Lyra winning Queen of the Ring.
Take that.
Yo, Zombie, you got to train these two clowns in some pro wrestling moves. I need to see these two get in the ring and settle their beefs.
I want to bring the whole crew to my to the place I train and let them hit the ropes a little bit.
Let's go.
Listen, me and Martin, WrestleMania 41, 60-minute Iron Man match, but we get a 20-minute intermission at the 15-minute mark.
Damn, that'll be the first in history intermission during that Iron Man.
We're gonna be like MJF, where he had the oxygen tank.
You're gonna be on opposite ends of the court and just try and focus on not dying.
Oh my god!
Breathe into the nose, after the mouth.
Ant's gonna be coaching Martin through the whole entire thing, and I'm just gonna have Brandon like, bro, what can he do? Can he do a drop kick? I'm like, I guess. You never see me do drop kicks on 60 minutes.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg.
Oh man, but let's get back to this match, guys. I love this match. The women have been killing it this year, man, and everything they do. The Rumble, the Elimination Chamber, the Battle Royales, the Queen of the Ring matches. The women have brought their A game. My favorite thing about this entire tournament has been the women shining and showing everybody with a little bit more time, we can absolutely cook and we can deliver good things. Shayna and Io was a banger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lyra has some great matches. Lyra and Io was a great match. The SmackDown side was stacked in great matches. So it's like...
I think SmackDown had a better caliber. Or bracket,
they did.
I would say.
They definitely did. Whenever Maxine... Listen, I love Maxine, but whenever Maxine, the Priest, and the Queen of the Ring matchups, I love Maxine, but she's not there yet to be competing for anything of that caliber. You know what I mean?
Sure. Good point.
I respect that.
I love her. I think she'll be a great wrestler eventually, but I think she's too green and it's too soon for her to partake in these matches.
If I had to replace her, I would definitely put Indy in there.
Indy deserves it. To me, Indy's a former NXT World Champion. She only lost the title because she got drafted. You know what I mean? And she hasn't really had the opportunity since then. They've been in the pre-show against Bianca and Jade, and let's keep it a buck. Nobody's beating them but themselves. I'm not gonna. There's no point. There's no reason to recap that match because as a tag team, they're as dominant as Shayna and what's old girl's name?
Ronda.
And Ronda. As a tag team, they were dominant. The only way when they won it, I was like, they're only going to beat themselves, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
and Jade and Bianca is on that level, except they're both main event talent. To me, Shayna's a main event level talent, but she's not getting booked as such. No. You know what I mean? And the Queen of the Ring was a great showing out for her. So the women are balling out, man, and I do love that. And this match was another great example. Lyra's on the way up. Maybe a little too fast for my liking because there's a whole lot of women on the roster who deserve opportunity as well.
Hater alert!
But it was a great showing for her.
I agree.
Yeah, I would say fantastic showing for Lyra. All the women absolutely stole the show. The women's wrestling right now in WWE is absolutely insane. Like look at NXT. Yeah. Like there's a new woman in that division every week that can go out there for 10, 15 minutes and put on a damn good match. So it's crazy to think that he feels that Lyra was shot to the top too soon because he was just talking about Logan Paul and how much he loves Logan Paul, and Logan Paul was shot to the top, from the beginning. So I don't know, man. I think Lyra is just getting placed where they feel she should be placed in that women's division, and I think it's working. I think she's a talent, and kind of piggybacking off Zombie, man. Another woman that I would have liked to seen in this tournament, maybe outside of Maxine, if there was like a replace action, Tegan Nox, man. Poor Tegan Nox. Like, what's going on with her? They drafted her to SmackDown. She's battled how many ACL injuries? Like, she had 3 ACL injuries in the span of like 2 years. Like, give her some time, man. Let her go out there. Say if you're not using her on SmackDown, use her in NXT. What they've been doing with Shayna and rebuilding Shayna like they did to Corbin in NXT. So I like it, man. I'm a big fan of this women's division across the board.
And I just want to point out, Chano, I just want to point this out. I feel like you think she's getting pushed too quick, too soon. And just hear me out here. It's because when men get called up from NXT champions, they go into the main roster, they go for mid-card titles. There is no other place to go but the World Championship for a woman. So they have no choice but to shoot her that way. Otherwise, she gets lost in the mix.
I listen. I agree with you. I agree with that sentiment. There's not a mid-card title for them to go to, so they have no choice. But to me, I see what they've done to Indy, Zoe, Candice LeRae, the Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Oh, don't get me started.
Who else? Blair Davenport. She hasn't even. She briefly appeared on SmackDown a little bit. Kiana James. You know what I mean? There's so many women that's been called up, and it's kind of like, okay, like
what? Tiffany time too.
Tiffany blew up. Tiffany blew up. She did get a world title shot, and I felt like that was more deserved. To me personally, as an adult, I love heels, right? Yeah, I love heels more. And she takes the bad guy role, the heel role, and she ran with it. To me, Lyra's like, she's still getting her wings beneath her on the main roster, trying to find out who she is on Raw, which is fine. You know what I mean?
Was that a punt?
It takes some time for you to connect with people on the main level, because WWE fans were filthy casuals. For the most part, we're all filthy casuals, and most of them don't watch NXT. But for the most part,
it blows my mind.
Think about it. Raw gets about 2 million viewers, and only about 600,000-700,000 watch NXT. So a good 1.3 mil ain't watching all those young people coming up. So it's rough. And I do agree with your sentiment. But to me, it's like I'm just thinking about all the other NXT women that got called up and hasn't been given a fourth of the opportunity that Lyra has been given just in this Queen of the Ring tournament by itself.
There's a good discussion to be had here because Chano's making valid points. Martin's making valid points here. There's some valid statements because a lot of the names Chano named was.
If we have some time, by the end of this, we'll touch back on this. Let's wrap this up so we can go to Double or Nothing. It was an eventful weekend, guys. Randy Gunther, any thoughts?
Fantastic.
That's how you put over a new talent without burying yourself and still being considered a GOAT.
Gunther's one of the best in-ring wrestlers they have.
Yeah.
Randy put Gunther over, but Randy made sure he lifted the other shoulder to be like, this man can never beat me.
I don't know what happened.
Good bit of storytelling, man.
Yo, my favorite thing about Raw, when they showed the clip of the pin, they showed it from the back, so it couldn't be disputed at all. Because they asked Triple H on there, and Triple H was like, the angle from my angle, I was out there, and I saw both shoulders down. So
I love him so much.
When they ran back when they showed the replay on Raw, they just showed it from the back. Like, you never even saw the shoulder. I was like, this is crazy.
He said, ref's decision's final.
That's such a cop-out. Listen, at least he addressed it.
So easy, though. Because what are you going to do? You're going to bring him back and have Gunther go over Randy again?
Yes,
can't do
1,000%. Run it back.
Save that for down the line. That's a down the line type of moment.
Oh, 1,000%. All right, guys. Wrestling was in full force. It was a hectic weekend, man. A lot of wrestling. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is our first night free of wrestling, unless you like TNA. But let's get into Double or Nothing. Same thing. Favorite match, least favorite match on the card. Let's go.
That was a big card.
It was a
10 matches, bro.
Card.
Crazy.
That was a big card.
Favorite? I'll start this because I'm gonna dog this. But favorite match for me, Anarchy in the Arena, man. That thing was that was something special. That's just pure. I love chaos. I love it. I that was right up my alley. I was there for the first one in person. Became one of my favorite matches I've ever been to. Even on television, fantastic. Least favorite match, you already know where I'm going. Get that learning tree uprooted right now. Chop that learning tree down. Chris Jericho, that FTW triple threat. That was a main event for Collision that did not belong on this card.
1,000%. I hate Chris Jericho more than anybody. I don't want to see him on my television.
Listen, I don't hate him.
No, I hate him.
But I just this learning tree thing, even like he's getting under your skin. That's the whole point of the gimmick. Sure. I'm not enjoying it. It's pointless. Like it's.
Hey,
listen,
he was getting under my skin before this gimmick, so I don't
exactly.
I'm not gonna hold you. The day Chris Jericho retires, I will celebrate his career as one of the all-time greats because he is
100%.
a true living legend. He has given everything to the sport, and he is one of the greatest of all time, undoubtedly in my mind. But right now, I do not want to see Chris Jericho on my TV screen wrestling. Ever. Right, that's just my piece about Chris Jericho. You bring up Chris Jericho, my wheels start turning
right now.
Nitram, what about you? Favorite, least favorite?
We'll get back
I'm going to say the Chris Jericho match just to piss me off.
Yeah.
My favorite match is okay. Sorry, you guys made me so mad about the Chris Jericho thing that it's not my favorite match. I don't want to say it because it's not my favorite. My least favorite match was the Trent and Orange Cassidy match. Not because it was a bad match. I just feel like the emotion connection for me went away weeks ago for that. So the whole it just I don't know. You talk about matches that should have been like a Dynamite main event or something like that. It was there. I think after the parking lot brawls and all this other stuff, it shouldn't have been on the card.
This card should have been 8 matches.
1,000%.
Way too many matches.
Now,
all right, what's your favorite, Martin?
Part of me wants to say the Anarchy in the Arena because I love Okada, but realistically, it's the Will Ospreay match.
Yeah,
they
killed it. They killed it. Also, Tony, just quick shout because it's right up there. Tony started with Serena Deeb. I'm not even a Serena Deeb fan. They took it down. They killed it.
They did it.
I thought I thought it was better than the Mercedes match. I'm just gonna say it.
That's hilarious.
I thought it was better than the Mercedes match.
I was underwhelmed significantly by Moxley and Takeshita.
We'll get there. And what was your favorite, least favorite?
I'm gonna have to say least favorite. That's the 3-way FTR. Didn't need to be on the card at all.
The 3-way FTR. You mean the trios match?
Yeah, FTW. Excuse me.
Okay.
FTR. I really like the 6-man. Just to be a little different. I feel like that was a solid match. They had good chemistry and everything, and then we got Juicy Juice return during that match. So just to be, in the sake to be different, that's my match. I like that. We get the that group, that famous Bullet Club, Guns Up. We get that group full back, so I'm down for that.
I agree with you. I will say this: I popped more for Juice Robinson than a different MJF, 1,000%.
I think so.
I love so. Bro. I love Juice Robinson, bro.
It's just the energy he brings to that group.
Yes, bro, 1,000%. I love Juice. He is great. If you was to tell me that he's getting the world title tomorrow, I'd be on board. 1,000%. I'd be on board. I love Juice. Let's dive into it. My least favorite match was the Takeshita John Moxley match, and it wasn't because it was a bad match. I hated the match because it was the wrong ending.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point? So Mox and Takeshita they had 3 matches, right? Takeshita has been catching up to ever since. Mox has a real bad arm injury, but Mox still pulls out the win. That Takeshita is supposed to be a dog. Like, bro, what are we doing with Takeshita? He is one of your best wrestlers on that roster. I understand that he's not Mox. I understand that he's not Okada. I understand that he's not Will.
He's not a New Japan guy.
Bro, it's annoying.
That's the problem.
Bro,
apparently, New Japan wants a New Japan person to beat Moxley. That's what it's going to come down to.
Bro, that's fine. It's only an eliminator match.
Yep.
Bro, it's literally only an eliminator match, bro.
They feel slighted because Takeshita, I guess Takeshita, there's beef with them and because Takeshita never signed with them or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's a whole article on it out there. I remember reading about it a week ago.
I get it. But if this was gonna happen, bro, do not have Takeshita face Mox for the eliminated match for the title. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because we see this man shine every single week, and for him not to finally come out with a strap is annoying. It's very annoying as a fan. And Takeshita said in an interview, he was like, "I thought good working hard would get me along further." This is verbatim, not word for word. Just a little verbatim. They get me further, and it's like it's not. You know what I mean? And it's frustrating. I'm frustrated for him. I'm not the biggest Mox fan, but I acknowledge Mox in the hierarchy in the wrestling world. Mm-hmm. So I do acknowledge that, but it's frustrating for me as a fan. So that's my least favorite match. Wrong ending. Favorite match, I do got to agree with Martin. Will and Roderick Strong put on an absolute banger to open that night. Them guys went out and they absolutely balled out.
The chops during that match.
Yeah.
But that being said, let's start off with that. Martin, you already gave you a piece, so let's let Mike and Zom give their input on that one. What you guys think?
All right, Mike.
Oh man, dude, that was one hell of an opener for this pay-per-view. I mean, perfect guys to open the show, 100%. One of the things in the match, though, I was very scared was that dive that when Ospreay and Undisputed Kingdom, they went for like the I don't even know what you would describe it as.
Doomsday type deal.
It looked like that. Yeah, Doomsday, and then he landed on his fucking head and neck, dude.
Yeah,
I thought Ospreay was finished. Like at that point, I was like, oh, dude, there goes the match. Like he's finished. Like he's out. Yeah. And then they went on and they wrestled for another 20 minutes, and I was like, never mind, he's chilling. This dude's built like different. I don't know what he's made of. You know, they call him the Billy Goat for a reason. But yeah, right decision. What I don't like is that he's the new champion, and we didn't follow that up with contenders for him, which I know we'll get to. So
it's wild. I'm gonna skip the Learning Tree match because I hate Chris Jericho.
Why are we hating on? No.
The dice were fun. The dice were fun.
The dice was a nice little spot.
I'm going to say something real quick because y'all all shitting on the learning tree. Without the learning tree, there are four people right now who'd be sitting in catering with no TV time because Jericho doesn't need to bring them out for TV time, but yet he is. He is sharing his time. Big Cass or Big Bill or whatever the hell he's going by now, 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that, would not be teaching on AEW TV. He would be in catering, okay? The Bounty Hunter, he was on Rampage. Who here watches Rampage? No hands shown. Okay. Shibata,
I do.
Shibata was not on weekly television. Okay. Hook was the only argument you could bring there, and he only came probably once a month to do his little pop. He never had that motivation, and I'm gonna argue Samoa Joe too, because Samoa Joe hasn't had a storyline since he left the dang title behind. Okay, so y'all can hate on Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is putting money in people's mouths.
Okay, all right, fair. And I respect
Martin, I have a question, Martin. Can you lightly release Chris Jericho's nuts, please? Just a little bit. Just
right here. They're right here.
No, don't bust his balls. Don't bust his balls. You know, he's passionate. He's not wrong in a capacity. He's not wrong in a capacity. Like, yeah, those guys are getting TV time right now. But what's the follow-up? That's the real problem. Because if you look in the past, look at the guys that were affiliated with Jericho and look at the fall-off. They had a nice little honeymoon phase after parting ways. Who?
FTR was part.
No, we're not. Listen,
don't even argue that. No, FTR were established stars on their own. Right, what's Sammy Guevara doing right now? He's suspended. He's suspended still.
He deserves a suspension. Fuck Sammy. Time out. Listen, we can't spend all the time on Chris Jericho. We still got 9 more matches. We still got 8 more matches to go through.
We're going to stop hating on Garden Tree.
But real quick, before we leave Jericho.
All right, let's make it quick, Ant.
Anytime Jericho's on TV, I'm using the bathroom. So all the people he's bringing on TV, I'm not seeing anyone. I'm taking a shit.
1,000%. All right, let's quickly look over this Orange Cassidy Trent Beretta. Listen, you guys are right. This should have been a Dynamite main event. 100%. No way about it. I didn't even know this match was on the card until I saw them come out. I was super confused.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
It was a good match. It was a good match.
At the end of the day, there's two friends getting to wrestle each other. That's why I accepted for. I didn't really care for the storyline. I didn't really care about Trent's turn. It's like, whatever. Okay, you turned. Okay.
This should have been structured way differently. Cassidy Beretta should have opened Dynamite this past Wednesday, and then they could have led that right into Callis coming out with the contract to then have, Cassidy deny it and then Trent join. They could have flowed that way better. I'm a proponent of, look, I know we're paying for the pay-per-views if you're paying for them. I know you want your best bang for your buck, but me personally, a good card is 8 matches, 7 to 8 matches total on the card, bro. Like 10 matches, you're getting into territories that I can't. Like, there's obviously a match or two that I'm just going to be like,
brother, let me tell you, if I go to a locker room and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, what the fuck? It's going to be a long night.
It's a 5-hour card. It's absolutely disgusting.
It's insane.
It's disgusting. All right, let's get into the trios match. The Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle. If I do have to start this off, there is never enough Penta. Penta is the absolute goods. Every time, I swear to God, bro. I saw Penta and I was like, why is he so swaggy? I'm like, why is he that guy?
I'm gonna say it like this. He's so swaggy, but I rarely buy like actual wrestling merch from like big promotion, but I want me a Penta mask. I want my Penta shirt. I want Penta action figure. I want a Penta lunchbox. I want a phone case. I want the sandals. I want everything. Give me everything with Penta.
This man some draws. You get him everything.
That's it.
Give him the Penta Zero Miedo draws, bro.
We do like this in the front. This
in the front, and this is the back.
Listen, I do love me some Penta. Penta is the absolute goods. Pac is a dog. But listen, nothing can top my love for the Bang Bang Gang. They are my favorite faction. in wrestling when Roman's not around. When Roman's around, it's the bloodline. Roman's not around, it's the Bang Bang gang. I love Jay White. I love the Guns, and I love the shit out of Juice. Juice is my guy. So to see Juice come back, bro, I marked. I absolutely marked out. I'm not gonna hold you. I was like, he's back. He's back. Yeah. He's back. And honestly, I felt like just tagging Tony Storm every day and just be like, "Where's Juice? Where's Juice? Where's Juice?"
Yeah, you've been saying that, but bro, this might be a hot take. It might not be, but the the names, the Guns boys.
Austin and Colton.
The Ass Boys?
Yes, the Ass Boys. I feel for this generation, they're one of the best second generations to do it right now.
They are talented, and they are very
interesting perspective.
If you see their whole career, night and day. Night and day. When they first joined with their dad and all that, and when they finally broke up with their dad and went on their own way, they're solid workers. Good on the mic, good on the ring, good for segments, good to get heat. They can get comedy spots off. They can get serious. They can get nasty. I mean, they're all around solid workers. So it may be a hot take, it may not, but I feel that they're one of the best second generations right now in this generation to do it. I don't consider Cody this generation because Cody around. He's been around for years, and like Roman, they've been around like this generation.
What about Braun Breaker?
I like Braun Breaker when he was with the Wolf Dogs. I feel like
goddamn Wolf Dogs.
I love the Wolf Dogs. Bring it fucking back. That was the best.
Oh my god.
Tag team ever. But I feel like the Braun Breaker story. It's just like it's been done. The shoes that they want him to fill he's not going to feel it. He's not going to feel it.
Listen, it's way too soon to talk about my man Braun like that. Overall, how we feel about that trios match?
It was fun. It was solid.
It was my
match. Fun match.
All right. So what else we got? Let's get into you said Serena Deeb earlier. I had no expectations for her at all. As before last year, I was in a WWE bubble. I didn't know anything else existed outside of TNA. I was aware of New Japan, but I didn't care much for New Japan. I knew of Omega though. I knew of Kenny. You can't miss Kenny. People have been talking about Omega for years. How do you guys feel about the Tony Storm Serena Deeb match? Anything that stood out to you?
Solid worker, solid match. Mm-hmm. Tony Storm's one of the best female workers right now.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, man. Deeb, really went out there and showed the world, what her abilities are as well. They put on a great match together. 100%. The finish of that match was wild.
Wicked. Yeah. Absolute wicked.
Wicked.
What about you, Mark? Yay, nay?
No, I think so. For a long time, people have told me that Serena Deeb is one of the best women wrestlers, and I never saw it. I think in this match specifically, she kind of showed that. Because she's a veteran. She's been around forever. She was in CM Punk's clique and all this other stuff, but I'm just being honest, I've never been a big fan of her. I never thought her work really stuck out to me. But this match specifically, honestly, like I said, they tore it down. They're probably right there to my favorite matches, right there next to Will and Roddy. And, like Zombiiking always says, it takes two people, so I'm not going to take any credit. I'm not going to say it's all Toni Storm. It's both of them. Mm-hmm. And, hats off to her. Take off your hat, Mike.
Yeah, man.
All right. Listen,
my hair's a mess.
That's fair. Let's get into another match with the wrong winner. And question, should it have been a change in the call? Should have been there an audible after an injury. I'm talking about the TNT Championship match, the steel cage match with Adam Copeland and Malachi Black. So if you're not aware, Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, he fractured his fibula. I'm assuming it's the spot where he jumped to the top of the cage and he kind of like straight-legged it, which is an absolute brutal spot. You're a 50-year-old man, Adam. I don't like wrestlers over 45 for a reason.
It's real quick. He's like the king of these type of matches, right? You should know better.
You should know better.
You should know better.
Especially a straight landing like that, like straight, like that's safe to say like 20, 25 feet. Like you jump off 20, 25 feet and you land straight.
You don't even need to jump that high, bro. If you jump off the second ropes, land it like straight leg, you're definitely gonna do something.
If you was gonna do a leg drop, that makes more sense. But straight leg elbow drop,
why didn't he just do a splash? Why didn't he just do a splash?
Adam, you know better. Adam, you know better. You know what I mean. He was able to finish the match, which is always good, which is always a good call. But an audible, because now we have the madness for the TNT Championship, which is dope. Which is dope for AEW. We'll get to that, but overall, wrong winner. Listen, I love Copeland, but I have a thing for wrestlers over 45. If it wasn't Malachi Black, who was it going to be? Who's going to take the strap off of him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it had to be Black. It should have been Malachi. I agree to that sentiment. I had Malachi winning that match.
Yeah. To be fair,
the only thing I can say, maybe Adam didn't know. Let me tell you, when your adrenaline is pumping and you're in mid-match and you're going and your pain is the last thing you're feeling. Like, injuries are the last thing you're feeling. That's the last thing you're thinking. So if his adrenaline's pumping, like, he probably didn't even feel his leg was broken until he got back. And he was like, oh, why is my leg is...
when he remembered that he was 50 years old, that's when he felt it in his leg.
Exactly. His leg was, by the way, broken.
Mark, what about you? You was gonna say something. What happened, brother?
I was gonna say, to be fair, I think it's also kind of hard to call an audible when you have Gangrel under the ring. And like when he comes out, and they're like, "Yo, bro, we're not doing this no more. Go back under." Like, what are you gonna do? You know?
Change contract.
I got the plunger, and just plunging him back under the ring. Get back down there.
You're not gonna have Brody Lee beat up Gangrel. God, he's old cell too. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually that. All right, so I guess we can all agree, great match, wrong winner.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's get into Mercedes and Willow. And my specific question for you, as a booker, do you agree with Mercedes winning the match? Because we all know how much you love Mercedes Moné.
Oh yeah, let me tell you. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the whole feud because I feel like this was just her way to get back at Willow for the whole... I mean, they tried to turn it into a story, but just to put the title on Willow, who's been there since day one, who's been a workhorse for them, just to be like, yeah, we're going to give it to you just so you can transit it to her. To me, that was disrespectful. But
you had to remember, Julia Hart did have a legitimate shoulder injury. So so she did have to drop the title.
No. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's other people you can use that has as transition. I feel like Willow's one of those stables for you. She's been there since day one.
I understand that. Mike, what about you? Mike and Martin.
Yeah, man. To be honest, I thought we were going to see a return of Britt Baker here. I thought everything pointed to Britt Baker being involved in this match. At least I felt it just because, like, where the hell has she been? Like, get the missing posters set up, like, get her on milk cartons because, like, missing where is Dr. Britt Baker? It makes sense for Mercedes to win. Obviously there's history there. I agree. I hated seeing Willow as a transitional champion because she's a day one wrestler. She's been there from day one. She has gained fan popularity. Unlike, I'd say unlike most of the women in AEW's division outside of maybe Tony, Britt, a few others. And, just to see her drop that title a month later, 2 months later, like it felt like a big slap in the face. But obviously I see the direction we're headed. Willow versus Chris is the next big rivalry for those two women. Obviously Mercedes is going to defend the title and be the face of TBS, obviously big money contract. She's going to do big money Monet things. So yeah, it's one of those things. It was a hell of a match. They went out there, they tore the house down, but I would have liked to see Willow retain, but I understand why Mercedes did win.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, to be fair, and like Mike was saying, Willow, she really climbed the ladders, but like in an accidental way, she wasn't supposed to win that original match with Mercedes. She got, Mercedes got injured. They called the audible, and to all her credit, I'm not trying to take away from anything from her. She took that momentum and rode with it. She got herself better. She got herself more noticed. Yep. Like, she really embraced it.
She won the Owen Hart Cup. You know, she's a winner of the Owen Hart Cup. You know, if that, and I agree, you know, if that unfortunate event doesn't take place, maybe we don't see her get that popularity. So yeah, valid statements here. Valid points made, man.
My problem with Mercedes winning is that they do this with everyone. A woman gets signed, she gets a title shot, and she either wins or loses, and it gets lost in the shuffle. They do this every time. And I'm not saying it's going to be the same with Mercedes, because, you know, everyone knows she's making the big bucks. But I'm just glad she had no ring rust. She looked incredible. She's gorgeous. She's happy with her husband. That's not me. And that's how pretty much where that ends.
Martin, I'm glad you bring that up, because that's exactly what you do for the AEW Women's Championship every single time. And it is getting tiring. It is. I'm not going to hold you. I expected to see Tony on this past week on Wednesday, and then Britt Baker finally come back. We're like, oh, it's a return. Oh, my God. It kind of feels like the TBS Championship has flip-flopped with the World Women's Championship. In a sense where the TBS Championship is a championship for the women who are constantly on the show. And the AEW Women's title is kind of like for the women who are just here at the moment. You know what I mean? They have such a talented roster, guys. So talented. Men and women. Their roster is stacked. And you don't know what to do with them. It's frustrating. So, here's the main event. And here's the match that should have been the main event. What should have been the main event was Swerve and Christian Cage. Because Swerve is your world champion.
Yep.
Martin, you can shake your head. This is the same thing they did to MJF last year. MJF's title run, half his title run was overshadowed by the Elite. The Four Pillars match. His match with Bryan Danielson. He was overshadowed by the Elite for half of his reign before they decided to fuck off somewhere. You know what I mean? And thank God they did, because we finally got old boy to main event Wembley. My biggest fear is the Elite gonna make themselves a main event at Wembley. Listen, it's a great story, but that does not over-precede your world champion. And you can call it a triple main event all you want. That's nonsense. If your world champion is not the main event, your world champion should main event your show 75% of the time. And he's not main eventing none of it. Swerve is opening shows, and that's a problem for me. It's not a problem if he does it once or twice. He's doing it every single week. So let's get into Anarchy in the Arena. To me, I wasn't a big fan of it. I don't really like controlled chaos. You know what I mean? There was a couple good spots, like when they hung Darby by his foot, and I was like, somebody, please save Darby Allin.
Yeah, get him down, please.
My man's broke his foot, got hit by a bus, and you guys got my man's hanging by his foot. Somebody save Darby.
Don't forget he's got a broken nose during all this too.
Oh my yes. Yo, Jack Perry grabbing Tony Khan from the back and throwing him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, TK, have some self-respect. Learn how to do some judo. Learn how to judo.
He got sold it up.
I would say, I'm not a fan of the those matches. I would say
I'm not either, man. It's for me.
I love this.
It's a rough match. It's a rough match.
One of the better. It's for a specific crowd.
Yeah, it's for the sickos like me.
I've always loved all those crazy matches.
Like
the worst, real quick. The worst one was when Jon Moxley brings out the what was that?
The bed of nails.
The bed of nails or whatever.
That was tough. I watched it with my wife, and it was so hard to watch. She's like, "What kind of sick man is he?" I'm like, his wife is in the back conducting interviews. If you think that's bad, you know what I mean? Like Jon Moxley was a big old sicko. Like I expect.
This was like they lit someone on fire.
I will say, genius on their end, because they dunked Jack Perry in a bucket of water and then lather him up in the fireproof gel so you couldn't tell he was wearing it. Such a smart. Whoever said that, props to them, because that was a great little bit of
because Jack Perry was back to like, let's just use real fire.
Shit.
Chano, I just want to say the reason why this gets the main event slot, and it's because the way they've done it in history, is because it's technically an unsanctioned match, and because it's unsanctioned, it doesn't count necessarily. So therefore, they can't say it's the actual match card. So therefore, it makes sense to not have an unsanctioned match and then go back to sanctioned matches. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Plus, Anarchy in the Arena destroys everything, so you can't have a match after because everything's already like destroyed.
Listen, I get it. I just see it from perspective of I've seen this movie before and I don't want to see it again. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
I do agree with Chance. If you don't have a world title and you want people to care and you want to make it prestige, and when you say AEW world title, you say it with your chest. You need to treat it like it.
And I will follow up what Zombie said. I want to say it's the AEW world title. But it doesn't feel like that right now. It sounds like the elite, and the AEW world championship. You know what I mean?
So point.
I'm just saying. No. It's go from an exploding chair to Christian Cage.
Martin, I understand. Martin, I understand your point. Can you understand my frustration?
I agree. What ruins this whole thing for this pay-per-view and why you feel this way about that was because they labeled it as a triple main event. That I despise in pro wrestling. When WWE does it, despise it.
It's gross.
When AEW does it, I despise it because the true main event is the last match that goes on in the card. And respectfully, whether sanctioned or not, the main event was Anarchy in the Arena, and the co-main event was Swerve and Christian. So it's tough. Because I see Chano's perspective on this, and I agree to the sentiment that, to me right now, Swerve does not feel like a primary champion. He feels like an afterthought, and that should not be the case for your world title.
I appreciate that. Let's get into this world championship match. Swerve, Christian Cage. If Mike, if you're not aware, Christian Cage is my father. He's not my stepfather. He's not my stepdad. He's the dad who steps up.
He's the father that stepped up. He's not your stepfather. He's the father that stepped up. God damn it. Get it right, man. Get it right.
Exactly. No, but I did love that match. Christian can still move. The kick when Christian's doing the spear is an absolute, like if AEW ever drops a logo, like a personal logo, that's the logo. It's absolute.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a good match. It was a great match. Swerve has the unique ability to draw a 50-50 match with everybody. And it annoys me sometimes because there's no reason why he should be having a 50-50 match with Jay Lethal and Luchasaurus. you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a true worker.
He is a true worker, and he's a true worker.
That's when you know you're in there with someone that understands putting over the match, not putting over themselves.
Mike, I said this a couple weeks ago. I know you're a big Cody fan. To me, Swerve is the real from undesirable to undeniable.
Interesting.
Because he got cut. He was in the main roster for like a week or two, but he was mostly in NXT. Got cut, and then he made himself in AEW to the World Championship. Meanwhile, Cody had multiple singles runs, tag team championship runs. He balled out in NWA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, came back, AEW. Could have won the World Strap, decided not to put himself in that position, which I respect. And then now he's the current undisputed champion. But to me, Swerve is the real undesirable to undeniable. Other than that, what are your thoughts on this match?
Great match. Fantastic match. Swerve, Christian, they had some good chemistry in that ring. We saw a little bit of, some shenanigans almost develop, but, you got Prince Nana out there. So I thoroughly enjoyed this match. This is a match for me where to truly appreciate it, I probably feel like I have to rewatch this particular match. But from recalling my live viewing experience, very good match. Christian, like you said, he can go in that damn ring. And I wouldn't be shocked if before it's all over and done with, he ends up holding that world title somehow, some way.
1,000%.
I wouldn't be
1,000%. All right, Martin, Zom, how do you guys feel about it? Let's make that quick. We got to get into Raw real quick if we're going to make the rest of the shows.
I thought it was underwhelming. Personally, I just think it's neither Christian's or Swerve's best work. Maybe I'm just a fan of them too much, and I expected a little bit more. But it also could have been the card was too long. I thought the match was a little underwhelming from both of them.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about having long matches, because crowd eventually can get like an adrenaline dump. Like you can only get excited for so long before your brain's like, okay, calm down. So when you have exciting match after exciting match after exciting match after exciting match, you can have a banger and people is ready wearing out because they're like, damn, I'm tired.
That is true. Listen, you can have only so many great matches. You need a nice, fluffer, boring match to make us appreciate the match afterward. So that's double or nothing. Overall, what do you guys think was the better card? I feel like it's so easy to say AEW because it had twice as many matches. You know what I mean?
But, I mean, are we looking at quality over quantity?
I mean,
yeah, of course.
This as a wrestlers, what was your favorite match out of the whole entire weekend?
Damn. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. As a wrestler, if I'm sitting down and want to learn, I'm gonna have to either go with on WWE side. I will go with Randy and Gunther. If I had to go AEW, I have to probably go with Will Ospreay and Strong, only because that is the type of wrestling that is today. Like that's today's wrestling. That's what we're gonna see on weekly basis. If you go to an independent show, that's if you got caliber wrestlers in there and not backyarders. That's the type of matches people are putting on these days. So
I'll put it like this.
Martin, Mike, what's your favorite, least favorite match of the weekend?
I'm just gonna put it like this. Overall, the best show, in my opinion, is WWE, simply because I can rewatch any of those matches and enjoy them. There's matches on the AEW card that I'll skip and never watch again, and that's just why I stand on that.
Yeah, I agree.
I would agree to that sentiment.
I will say that is one of the plus downsides to having 10 matches. That unfortunately you will get a couple misses.
Yeah,
and that's nothing on the wrestlers. It's just, bro, 10 matches, a 5-hour card is crazy.
It's too much.
I'm dragging the guys to Forbidden Door, and I'm not looking forward to it because I know we got to get there at 6 because the pre-show starts at 7. It's going to end at 12, and it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. But overall, great shows, great wrestling. Wrestling is alive and well. Iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. WWE needs AEW, and AEW needs WWE. They need both to coexist. One without the other, you get super latent and super trash. I forgot the big word for it.
Complacency.
We saw it in the writing. We saw it in the writing in the 2010s. It got super complacent. It was terrible. Well, let's lit again, guys. Let's go into Raw. Let's kind of breeze. There's only like 3 good things on Raw. So let's breeze through. Gunther calls out Priest. He says the title's lacking prestige because Damian Priest didn't win it the right way. Listen, if he feels that way, he must hate Edge's run when Edge won the WWE Championship. You know what I mean?
He's a big hater, so
he's a big old hater.
Yeah, Gunther's just a hater.
1,000%. So to me, that was kind of funny. I'm like, wow, Gunther must hate everybody. There's a lot of like Money in the Bank winners that won off some grimy shit. To me, Cena's the only one that took his Money in the Bank contract as a goody 2 shows. I was like, I want to face you at this event, fully fresh for your title, and he lost. So fuck that. If I want you on your back.
The way I see this all playing out at this point is because Drew McIntyre is just the biggest hypocrite. Gunther was talking about didn't have prestige because Priest won it through the Money in the Bank. I think Gunther beats Priest. Drew will have the Money in the Bank when it happens. Drew will cash in, and he'll still claim that it doesn't have prestige because that's the only way people win it. It's just going to be Drew being the biggest
Interesting.
Because Drew keeps complaining the only reason why he lost is because of the Money in the Bank, which he won the title with. Or no, he lost the title twice with it, but he claims that's the only way he loses it. So it's just like, he'll be a big hypocrite.
I'm not going to hold you. Drew only lost the title because he's obsessed with Pepsi fell. So that's Drew's fault.
Yeah,
it's Drew's fault.
Let's get into Ilja and Ricochet. Banger. These guys were absolutely cooking. But honestly, and you don't like Bron, but Bron's spear is probably the best spear in the game. He spears Ricochet in half.
Thank you.
And Ricochet is a phenomenal seller. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a great seller. Yeah. But Bron's spear is absolutely disgusting. I love this arc for Bron because Adam Pearce is trying to chew him out, and Bron is like, I don't care what you have to say. If you was cleared right now, I'd spear you. This doesn't mean anything to me. And like Ilja was in the back, still selling the spear. Like he's on the floor in the background, just like grabbing his stomach. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? You ate these spears before. Like you should be fine.
He's up. Yeah, but you're killing your gimmick right now, brother.
1,000%.
He's up and selling. I just don't like it only because, like I said, they're trying to. I feel like they're trying to replace him or make him fill shoes that he's never gonna fill.
I mean, I feel like he'd be fun. I feel like it's his legacy. I feel like a lot of people don't.
I'm never a fan of squash matches. I'm never a fan.
But how can you not love this gimmick? He's tired of squash matches.
I don't learn nothing. I'm not gaining anything from it.
But this is his whole gimmick right now. He hates the people they're putting him against. They're not putting him against actual talent.
But he's a high caliber. He wants to be treated like so.
Well, do it already.
He wants to be treated like he's that guy, and they refuse to give him people. So that's why he's lashing out. It's great. It's
not working for me. The whole like Goldberg, Brock Lesnar type feel.
I guess everybody's a hater.
I'm not a fan of their own, right?
I guess everybody's a hater for something. I hate Chris Jericho. Martin hates Trick Williams.
I don't hate him. I just don't want to see him trying to like be the next I'm gonna break everything guy because you're not.
I do. We need him. We need an I break everyone guy because obviously Brock Lesnar, kaputs, and Goldberg is Oldberg. So I don't want to see Goldberg.
Shoes. I don't think.
Let's get into Alpha Academy. Otis faces Bronson Reed, loses, and Gable decides to take out his belt and try to whip old boy. And Otis, like the good boy he is, grabbed the rope and he was gonna bite down on the pillow and eat the whipping. And the Sammy comes out.
What a way to describe that.
Yeah, bro, that's exactly what happened.
Otis somebody looking that up on Pornhub right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say submissive. What the hell is going on over here?
Exactly, that's basically what happens. You know what I mean? Otis was like, "No," but Maxine does try to save the day, and then Sammy comes out and saves him. Gable's on this mean streak, man. He's such an angry little guy, and Big E said it best. Like, he's like, you put him in some long shorts and a tank top, and you call him Shorty G, and he's bound to snap.
That poor guy.
That was so funny to me, but it's crazy, man. But allegedly, Gable's contract is up next week, so
I saw that.
I don't know if they can continue this Gable run. You know what I mean? Are they going to write him off for like 3 weeks while they work on negotiations? I don't think he is. But just the fact that they mentioned his contract is up next week, and I was like, wait, he's in the middle of a serious run right now. You think he's going to want to stop his momentum?
That's all. That's for the marks. That's for the people.
All the contract talk that I hear, I know damn well these people are locked up and they're just not disclosing the information. Like the journalists and the dirt sheets, like they're out of the loop right now, and Triple H is working them beautifully.
100%.
All right, so let's get into the championship rematch on Monday Night Raw. But honestly, what I want to talk about, okay, so yeah, Liv retains. Whoop-de-doo, because Dom opens the door for Becky. Becky's skeptical. Judgment Day gets their nose involved. Like, bro, just stay in the back. Dom is fixing his mistake from Saturday.
Yeah.
And they hit old girl in the head. And then Liv just walks out.
Shout out Braun Strowman.
Yeah, it's his, bro. It's just madhouse. So basically, if you don't watch Raw, basically they started the show. Braun Strowman fought JD. He beat JD. JD hit him in a chair, ran away, and Strowman was looking for the rest of the show. So when he popped up, that's when Strowman popped up, and then Becky got hit by the door. She fell back, and Liv crawled out. But the crazy thing is, listen, Dirty Dom, it's him. H-I-M. The Dirty Dom, man. He's
Dirty Dog, bro.
I want to know who's his writer. Like, he's like, bro, pay you extra on top of their salary. Just write this shit in for me, brother.
Listen, honestly, in my eyes, it's assault. Dom didn't consent.
No, he didn't.
He's an injured man. He only has one arm.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? She's a beefy woman, so she grabbed his face.
Strong.
You know what I mean?
That's
you know what I mean? So listen, Rhea, don't take it too personal. Dom was assaulted.
He didn't kiss back. He didn't kiss back. He did not kiss back.
No, he did not kiss back.
He did not kiss back.
He was trying to fight it. Yeah. Either way, he's in hot water with mommy. 1,000%. Hot water. 1,000%. You got to learn some judo with that one arm, Dom, because you got to defend yourself.
Over.
It's great, man.
Dude, you saw that, right?
What happened?
He didn't wipe it off. He licked his lips.
I didn't see it. You know why? Because why I didn't
wipe it off either.
He didn't do it.
Kinky.
He didn't do that.
Because on the US, they cut the feed. I found out about it on Twitter. Just like everybody else. I was like, really? I was like, oh, that's interesting.
USA Network, you're going to pay for your crimes.
1,000%.
If he didn't want that kiss, he would have wiped it off. He didn't.
He would have wiped it off. Let's get into. Wait a minute. How we are in time?
We're about there.
Could we get that SeatGeek ad going on, please, senor? And I'm just gonna
still there,
guys. Just when you thought we were down bad, Randy's here to pick us right back up. Thanks to our partnership with SeatGeek, we got good seats and great prices. New users can score a fantastic $20 off their final ticket purchase by using the exclusive promo code 4SIDESOTR at checkout for any event. That's 4SIDESOTR. Tell them the bad guy sent you.
So that's a little sponsorship of SeatGeek. Love you guys. And you are a wrestler. What wrestling dates do you have coming up, my brother? What dates do you have coming up?
I got a couple days coming up. June 14th, Richfield Park, ECW TV taping. And then June 21st, Brooklyn, New Jersey. And then June 29th, I have 2 shows, kind of like a fair during the day. And it's one of those messed up New Jersey names. So when I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. More dates to come.
Whenever you figure it out, just shoot me the text and the dates and I'll post it. All right, so that's that. Let's get into NXT because NXT was on fire this past Tuesday, guys. Lord. First off, bro, I don't know how they hit half the shit they pulled off this Tuesday. One, Sexy Red introduced the Women's North America Championship. I don't know what it is, but the white strap ruins everything for me. I wanted to get the AEW World title with a white strap, but then, the white strap signifies a Women's Championship, so ruined it for me. Yeah. It's a beautiful title, though. It is extremely
nice title. It's a good looking
title.
I
like it way more than the men's title.
Because the red one looks like a weightlifting belt, and I hate it. Javon is an absolute star. My man is 18 years old? Look at Martin mad hype because he's North Carolina's own. Look at
he's a hell of a talent, man. He's a hell of a talent.
I know him. I go to his first promotion. I've seen him since he was 14. I said that boy got talent. Him and his partner Jackson Drake, and they're both killing it. Okay, I'm proud of them. I don't care. Fun fact. He was our first indie wrestler of the week because he's that good. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Look at Martin getting so hyped and excited when he talks about his North Carolinians.
Over here.
Now, I'm not gonna hold you. It's kind of ironic that Nitram supports all his North Carolina wrestlers, but he hates the Hardys. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that ironic?
Go ahead, bro.
You're from North Carolina.
Hater alert. We haven't had one all show. He gonna press it for that? Sir,
I'm not gonna hold you. There was way worse things that Martin was hating on.
A little bit.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna clip Martin getting mad butthurt when me and Mike are shitting on Chris Jericho, and you see Martin just visibly getting angry in the back.
The steam is coming off his head, brother.
You know what I should have done? My no question of the week. I should have done what I did to Ant when the first time I hosted. Mike, he wasn't here, so the first time I hosted, we was getting on Ant's case every week about Rey Mysterio. So my question of the week was, why does Rey Mysterio suck? I worked Ant out real good.
Oh my god, dude.
He was hot from the rip.
Too much, dude. Too much, bro.
Older, still going, baby. Go.
So guys, Guys. Which debut would you say was the better debut on NXT this week?
Oh, Jordynne Grace.
Dude, they were both really good. What are you talking about? Those are fire, bro. I marked out like a kid. Like I was a kid watching wrestling. When I heard those sirens, bro, I jumped off my couch. I was like, holy shit, it's Jordynne Grace. And then when Ethan Page beat down Trick, I jumped up again and was like, holy shit, it's Ethan Page. What's going on tonight, folks? The NXT Tuesday night was like, mwah. What they used to call John Morrison, the Tuesday Night Delight, because NXT is the Tuesday Night Delight for me. It is the number one show of the week for me personally. I love NXT.
NXT was cooking, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I was doing something. I forgot what I was doing. I think I was playing Fortnite. Then I saw Jordynne Grace is gonna face Roxanne at Battleground. I was like, Jordynne Grace, isn't she on TNA? I'm like, oh my god! I missed it completely. I turned it on and I caught the tail bit of it, and it's amazing, man, because you can't really say it's a forbidden door because it's an AEW thing, right? So what is it? The prohibited portal?
That's what Jordan said. I like it.
Is it an illegal gate? You know what I mean? Unauthorized tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really
an unsolicited picture. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
oh my god,
bro, it's crazy because there's so many matches you can do with this. And my question is, do you do a TNA versus NXT?
I hope so.
Because you can make that work and not miss a beat or anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if you do TNA versus WWE with the main rosters, it kind of gets muddied a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
you could do it for Survivor Series. 1,000% you can do it for 100%. Survivor Series.
But
Survivor Series would be insane.
There is a couple of ex-WWE guys that's in TNA. I don't want to see them representing TNA.
No, I want to see them. I would like.
I'm mad at that.
We was talking about it before we started recording. I think it'll be
you're representing them, but you're also you're in commentating. They're gonna keep saying, "Well, he used to be in the WWE. Well, he used to be in the WWE." I want every TNA that's gonna go there an actual TNA wrestler.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna hold you.
Their thing there, they got their heat, whatever the case may be.
To counter argue though,
TNA.
If that's the case, then what you're saying is, in counter argument, you also don't want on WWE's side Drew McIntyre. You don't want AJ Styles.
Yeah.
You don't want, because I mean it goes the same way.
AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre started his career with WWE.
Yeah, but he's
right though.
Yeah, AJ Styles is TNA royalty
with WWE.
AJ Styles is TNA royalty, but on the same side, could you imagine? Could you imagine seeing Mustafa Ali, because he is the X Division champion, and be like, this is where Mustafa Ali has been, and then he puts on an absolute banger. You know what I mean? Because
I think there's a lot of potential,
especially AJ Francis.
Also got Nick Aldis.
Because that's the thing. Yes, even in AEW, you got ex-WWE guys, and then you're trying to base your promotion off them, but their history is WWE. So as
sidebar real quick to get things back on track. Let's be real here. To be honest, there's only how many major wrestling companies in the United States. So there's always going to be able to say, well, this guy wrestled for AEW. Well, this guy wrestled for WWE. Oh, and he wrestled for TNA. There's always going to be crossover no matter how deep you look at it, because everybody has either, for the most majority, had a taste in WWE, a taste in AEW, or a taste of TNA. So it's hard to say, I don't want them to be here because they're
way more.
I will say
in promotions than you have AEW guys sprinkled in on the road. You have way more.
Before we fly off the deep end, Mike, you have a great point. This is just Ant's personal beef with former WWE guys.
Sure.
Promotions. This is just his personal beef with it. But you have a great point. For the longest time, WWE was at the top of the castle, right? The kings of the world. So obviously, most of their talent, when it doesn't work out, they trickle down to other promotions. But you look at Swerve, somebody who wasn't utilized by the WWE, being utilized by AEW, and now he's the world champion of that promotion. Same thing with Drew McIntyre. He wasn't when he was skinny as hell before he got brolic as hell, and I didn't recognize him because now he looks like Drew ate Drew. He trickled down, became the TNA World Champion, and brought himself and made himself back on that main event level. So it works both ways. Understand your frustration, but we can't spend the whole show talking about who's coming from where and shit like that. Overall, Ethan Page, dog. Jordan Grace, the NXT TNA Forbidden Door, Illegal Gate, unsolicited photo, prohibited portal, whatever they decide to call it, is going to be phenomenal. Because at the end of the day, AJ Styles has to go back to TNA at least one more time.
I agree.
That man is TNA. Yeah. He is total nonstop action. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because I would do anything at this day and age to see Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles one more time.
Oh, God. What I would do.
It's magic in the bottle. Joe's amazing, and I hate wrestlers over 45, but AJ Styles still got it. I cannot hate on that man.
Yeah.
So NXT was phenomenal. NXT is probably going to be great for a while. It's a great show. Shawn Michaels, I salute you. You're running a wonderful show. Mm-hmm. Let's get into AEW. AEW was lengthy because so much happened. AEW just flipped the switch. It was a show. Dynamite was a show I didn't really care for. I was a Collision guy. I was a Collider.
I'm a Collider still.
I was a Collider, but now Dynamite's pretty good. So Swerve opens up the show again. I'm not a fan of it. He's your world champion. Your world champion should be main eventing 75% of your things. I get it. It can't happen all the time, but it should happen most of the time. So that's frustrating for me. I hate Chris Jericho. I hate the Learning Tree segment, TV time with Chris Jericho. I feel like we shouldn't talk about it. Martin, I hate Chris Jericho. Deal with it. Like you hate Trick and I gotta deal with it.
What was there to
hate? Everything. It's a bad segment.
I mean, his segments
was free puns and motivational cliches. It's tough to sit through, man. I'm sorry.
If Chris Jericho has a match at Forbidden Door, I'm row 6. I will be chanting, "Please retire," every single time. I will be chanting.
I'm not to put it that far.
I will be chanting AARP.
He killed him last time they tried that.
No, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna look him dead in his eyes.
Dead in his eyes.
I'm gonna look him dead in his eyes. All right, so Dark Blue, formerly known as Sky Blue, she reveals herself to be Mercedes Tacker from God knows when, because I forgot that even happened. Mm-hmm. Mercedes was on TV every single Wednesday talking, so I just kind of like tuned her out because I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, are you ever just gonna wrestle? You know what I mean? Like I'm good with like 2 promos before a match, but she's not strong on the mic, and there's only so many times I can go CEO and not see a match. So terrible. But the title defense was good. It was swapped out for Soraya versus Mariah May, but something happened, so we get it Saturday or next Wednesday.
Rhea not happy. Yeah, next Wednesday they pivoted too.
Oh, yeah. She's one of them that's definitely going to bolt back to the E the moment her contract is
That's over. If they even want her. They don't need Saraya. Let's be real here. They don't need her at all.
They don't, but she loves Triple H, and Triple H still loves her, so
she's not leaving. She got her brother signed. That's been a dream of hers. She's dedicated to that company.
Yeah, but she's leaving.
But she's going to act like a little kid on social media like we've seen, so there's nothing you can do about it. She's going to either fight out of the contract or fight her way Hulk Hogan style into the title picture.
Yeah, she needs to stay. She is AEW.
Saraya Hogan.
Well, she's like Natalia from the AEW.
Whoa! Wrestling.
I don't want no Natalia slander. I'm not gonna take any Natalia fucking slander on my watch. Don't you dare. We're gonna move on to AEW. Keep it going, Chano. No natty slander.
Hilarious. All right, but so listen, at least Natalia gets matches. Saraya hasn't done anything. Let's talk about the New Japan Wrestling with AEW. I feel like it's extremely one-sided. Martin, can you tell us about the one-sidedness of it?
You believe that AEW gets all the props and they're giving nothing back to benefit New Japan. I would counter that American audience now are starting to look up New Japan and CMLL because they have been recently on wrestlers, which is great. I would counter that it works both ways, but I do think that Jon Moxley not being in Japan, having their biggest title, it shouldn't be their biggest title. That's how I feel about it. It should have been what was that ugly title that Zack Sabre Jr. had? Something like that.
The U.S. Is it the U.S. title they got?
I think it's like a television.
It looks like a big Band-Aid, but anyway,
it's ugly. But I just feel like, we get to that gauntlet match, right? And I feel like Mystico got a good pop. Leo Rush got a good pop.
Yeah.
Who else was in that? I'm gonna say it wrong.
Hechicero, my guy. I love me some Hechicero, dude. I love Hechicero.
They got good pops, and these are, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
I agree.
They're not, you know what I'm saying? You guys know I watch all around. I love to watch wrestling. I do it all the time. I prefer out of the country wrestling more than American wrestling, just because it's my kind of style. I watch a lot of Mexican wrestling, a lot of lucha styles, a lot of New Japan strong style. But you know what I'm saying? Who's John Moxley's boy? When he came out, I was like, well, that's cool. But for Will, then Will wins the match, and I think they booked themselves into a corner here. And Mike, I want you to hear what I'm trying to say here, because I said this, and people are kind of arguing me here. I think they booked themselves in the corner here because one, it's babyface versus babyface at this point, and two, there's no way that either one of these guys can lose clean without looking weird. In a sense, I will say this. I will
say this. It makes absolute. The reason why I talk about the AEW New Japan relationship is because, one, AEW has stolen every single one of New Japan's talent. Undoubtedly.
Valid.
They have stolen everybody. There is no doubt about that. You can't even argue that. They've stolen the Bucks, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Pac,
Jay White,
Juice Robinson,
to be fair,
Okada, you know what I mean? Basically,
let's be real.
Basically, everybody, Forbidden Door is basically a tryout for TK to be like, oh, you like it here? Shit, when your contract's up in 2 years, you come slide over here, big boy.
It feels like it. It does. It does feel like it at times.
And the fact that you're not even having a New Japan guy challenge for your AEW World Title, is crazy to me. It makes no sense. And you talk about like, oh, it brings more eyes to New Japan. Who is it bringing more eyes to? Because I'm not going to hold you. For the most part, people who watch the core audience of AEW, 75% to 80% of them, they already know about New Japan. And they watch AEW because they want New Japan style wrestling. They want CMLL type wrestling, AAA type wrestling. So they definitely take advantage. They definitely know who these guys are. They definitely know know who these guys are. And there's no need that they're gonna get a fresh audience. Who are they getting? Me to watch New Japan? I still don't know where to find it. You know what I mean? I still don't know where to find it on a live thing. TJ, if you're trying to get
world.com.
if you're trying to get them, if you're trying to help them, post the link. You know what I mean? But they're not.
Let's talk about that.
My fault. And I'm on a tangent right now.
Yeah, I see that.
So it's like you don't have a New Japan guy facing a world championship. You're facing your world champion, but you have everybody and their mother under the sun getting an eliminator match for the New Japan World Title. You have Ricky Romero going in an eliminator match.
It's Rocky Romero.
My fault, Rocky Romero, bro. You had Powerhouse Hobbs getting a world title shot, and like I saw the bitterness on Twitter when it happened. There was like, and it wasn't the bitterness because he was a black man challenging for the title. So let's remove all racism shit out the way right now. It was more about the fact that Powerhouse Hobbs is not he's not a former New Japan wrestler.
I don't think he's never been to Japan.
He's never been to Japan. He's never fought in Japan. So you're getting somebody who has no affiliation to the promotion at all, getting a title match. By the way, which was huge because he's the first black man to ever challenge for the IWGP World Championship, which is huge and historical in its own right. But at the same time, this man has no connection to that company. So everybody and their mother gets it, bro. And I'm pretty sure TK will book you right now for an eliminator match for that title because TK don't give a fuck about TK don't give a fuck about nothing. But meanwhile, he's taking everybody. I'm still surprised Zack Saber's over there. You know what I mean?
No.
Bro, who he gave them? He gave them 3 months of Jack Perry to become the scapegoat. Like, bro, let's keep it a buck. New Japan is getting royally, excuse my language, they're getting royally fucked every single week. Wake up, smell the coffee, and have some dignity. Respect yourself.
He's right.
Start fighting back.
Now, look, I want to agree with Martin, and I want to say and sit here and say, look, the relationship is doing wonders because you're getting eyes on, additional talent and people are following them. Sure, it's working because, CMLL, prime example. I don't know who Hechicero was 5 months ago. When I debuted him, I was like, this is my dude. Like, I'm obsessed with him. I'm a mark for Hechicero. But I agree to the sentiment with the New Japan Pro Wrestling and the AEW working relationship. AEW's taking all of their talent. And that's the problem. That's why we're having these eliminator matches right now, because New Japan doesn't have top talent to take on Moxley. It's to the point where they don't have top talent to hold the heavyweight championship. They got Mox holding it. And Mox is one of the best. Don't get me wrong. But that's where your vacuum comes into play. There's no top talent to put the world heavyweight strap on for New Japan. They had to go to Moxley and put it on Mox. And now Mox is wrestling on Dynamites for eliminator matches with AEW guys. Obviously, Rocky, he's got connections, so sure, I'll let that slide. Powerhouse Hobbs, unfortunately, what did he do to even get that eliminator match? That was the one for me.
It wasn't even an eliminator. It wasn't even limited. It was a full title match.
It was straight up for the shot too, which is crazy to think because let's look at it. Would it be fantastic for Powerhouse Hobbs to won and been the first African American IWGP champion? Absolutely, because the only time I feel like the only African American that's ever held the title in New Japan was MVP, and that's still the case. He's the only African American IWGP.
So basically, there was another dude. I forgot his name.
Bob Sapp.
Yeah, Bob Sapp. But that was never for the world title. That title ended up becoming their mid-card title in the lineage.
That's crazy.
It's a really weird cycle. But yes, it's absolutely disgusting. You know what I mean? At some point, Tanahashi, you're now the president. You have to look at this and realize and look and be like, this isn't right. Until you stop snagging all of our guys.
This is a prime example of why TNA stopped their relationship with AEW right here, right now. Let's be real.
I agree with you. And hopefully WWE is a more fruitful relationship with the WWE, because I feel like we was all excited for TNA to come back. Scott D'Amore got canned, and we all just stopped caring about TNA immediately. You know what I mean? It was like the moment he got canned, it was like the moment he got canned, it was like, oh, okay, they're firing a guy that's making me excited about this. Why would I care about watching this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what sucks about it. And that's what sucks as a fan who wants to watch. Listen, I love AEW getting all these talented guys so I can watch them on Wednesdays and Saturdays. But on the flip side, New Japan is getting royally screwed. And honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. AEW does not have enough space for all these guys to be wrestling on a weekly basis, because you have the House of Black, who does not get nearly as enough TV time as they absolutely deserve.
Yet the Acclaim get more TV time, right? Like
you know what I mean? Like, bro, there is no reason. There is absolutely no reason. What's old boy's name? It's Malachi. Who's the redhead? Rhea's fiance. Buddy is a stud.
100%.
And my man gets no burn. But before I rant about this for another half an hour, Don Callis strikes again. For some reason, when Don Callis hands you a contract, just expect your mortal enemies on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, my man is a real life villain. Like, I didn't understand why people hated Don Callis. Like, I still don't, because I think he's honestly hilarious. I think he's probably the funniest manager in wrestling, because he's hilarious, man. He just exists, and people are like, "Fuck you, Don Callis." But it's funny, man. Let's see what else we got. The Elite get bamboozled by Christopher Daniels because he's now an interim EVP. So instead of giving Jack Perry the title, they're gonna make Jack Perry work for the title. I like it in the sense where I feel like Jack Perry still ends up with the title, and I'm not mad at it because it works with the Elite, right? It works with the parameters of the Elite, but at the same time, I don't think Jack Perry's a TNT. I don't think Jack Perry's a championship material. I know he's held the strap before. You know what I mean? And he's a different person now than he was back then when he first held it. But at the same time, I've been screaming Takeshita this whole entire time. I want Takeshita with the strap. Any strap. Mm-hmm. Bring back the WWE 205 Cruiserweight title and give him that strap. Give him anything. Give him any title.
I agree. Takeshita for me is the front runner for the TNT Championship. I think if you're going to screw a guy over, not let him get a chance at the IWGP, whether it's politics, whether it's creative, whatever the problem is, I think TNT tournament's a great opportunity to get him in the mix and maybe make the finals Takeshita, Jack Perry, and the Elite screw Takeshita over, and maybe that sets up a new storyline. But yeah, man, I will tell you guys right now, for me right now, AEW booking for the most part feels like 2018 to 2019 WWE, and I hate to say that. I hate to say it.
Talented roster, just questionable decisions.
Exactly. That's it.
It's wild. Honestly, TK, you're a great booker. You have shown time and time again that you are qualified to do this job, and you're doing a great job at your company. But I do think it's some time to get some help with the writing, just a little bit. Take some weight off your shoulders. You got 16 other companies. Take some weight off your shoulders and make this a little bit easier on you. But overall, the Elite isn't a bad story. It is an enjoyable story. I just should not overshadow your world champion. And the last thing for AEW, Bruv strikes again. My man is undefeated in Casino Gauntlets. I don't understand why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody would tell you it feels too soon. And once again, it doesn't make sense to me because once again, this is Forbidden Door. If you look in the ticket stub, it says AEW x New Japan Pro Wrestling presents Forbidden Door. But you have two of your champions of AEW, one of them which you have stolen from New Japan Wrestling, who is your mid-card championship, which is arguably your second biggest title on the promotion, fight your world champion at Forbidden Door. I feel like everybody collectively said, we want this match, but not at Forbidden Door. We want it at All In at Wembley, right? So it's like you take two champions off the board because we have Mercedes fighting Stephanie
McCreer.
Yes, we have her. She's a triple champion. New Japan Strong Women's Champion, CMLL Women's World Champion, and CMLL Women's Tag Team Champion. She's a Triple Crown champion. She deserves that match with Mercedes. That's a banger, right? At Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
But don't you think Will should have fought somebody from CMLL?
Oh yeah.
You don't think Swerve should have fought Tanahashi?
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like once again, it's like, damn, you guys really like TK. Like, what kind of blackmail do you have on old boys? Are you keeping their promotion alive or something? Are you sending New Japan checks quarterly so they can stay afloat? Like, how are you getting away with this? And listen, I don't want to call him a scumbag because I don't know, we don't know TK personally. You know what I mean? So I don't want to call him outside of his name. But like, bro, this was like highway robbery, and they're just letting you get away with this.
Well, it hurts. One of the
things, it hurts. It sucks. It sucks to see.
Yeah, one of the things that is definitely a selling point for wrestlers, WWE, I don't know if Japan do it, I highly doubt it, but they don't pay for your car, they don't pay for your hotel, they don't pay for anything. They pay you to wrestle. Tony Khan pays for everything. He pays for your car, he pays for your hotel, he pays for this, he pays for that, He really caters to wrestlers, and coming and I think it was Jericho the one to say this. He said, "This is the first time I ever with a company that paid for my car, that paid for my hotel." Jericho been in the business for how long?
I will say this.
First time, like that makes a difference. That really makes a difference.
I will say this. For Jericho, especially when Tony got Jericho, he coveted Jericho. You know what I mean? He made it happen. So for Jericho and other wrestlers, I'm sure it's a great deal. The work schedule is a whole lot lighter. There's so many people on that roster that, honestly, you might not have to listen. Deonna Purrazzo came back, fought for the Women's World title. She was on TV for like a month and a half. Fought Thunder Rosa. And she hasn't been on TV. She hasn't been on TV since. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you're getting paid really good money and not wrestle as often, and you can still do your indie events, indie shows if you want to. So I'm sure it works.
Make money with Tony Khan than it is with other promotions. Because Tony Khan's letting you work other promotions, and giving you a paycheck, and making
that's fine,
and paying for everything. So
that's more than fine. I'm not arguing the cons. I'm not arguing the cons of working with Tony Khan and AEW. It's a great promotion. It's a really good show, right? And they have come so far in the 5 years they've been active. But New Japan is bare bones at this point, bro. Like, it's bare. Honestly, the only way I see AEW surviving is doing a hard brand split. Doing a very hard brand split. this way I don't have to worry about seeing the Elite on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You know what I mean? This way I don't have to worry about that.
I want to circle back. I want to circle back into this conversation about Ospreay and Swerve and everything that we saw transpire this past week on Wednesday. So, I got a lot of words that I want to say here because let's be real. Roddy Strong wasn't doing too much with the international championship, to be honest. Like there wasn't any major title defenses happening. Like we saw a few, but he was doing good work with it to the point where I was like, I'm content with Roddy Strong keeping the title. Ospreay wins the title. And then immediately on Dynamite, we follow up Ospreay's title win with him being inserted into the Casino Gauntlet. Then he wins the Casino Gauntlet, like Chano said. Now we have Swerve and Ospreay, a match that we all were predicting to take place later in the summer at All In Wembley. That's a big money match on a marquee. Now you have the International Championship tied up in this feud with the World Championship. You have a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, like Chano said. Neither of those titles are being defended against New Japan or CMLL talent, and that is a huge misfire here because you're in a position, and Martin said this just before, you're in a position now where neither of these guys can lose, right, Martin? Neither of them can lose. Neither of them afford to lose. You can't have a clean winner in this contest because their momentum is still climbing while Swerve is the world champion, while Will Ospreay has been only in the company for maybe 2 months total officially, right? This is a huge miscalculation because, look, you're going to sell the pay-per-view, fine. You're going to sell it, great. But what the hell are you going to do booking-wise? And if I'm New Japan, if I'm Tanahashi, I'm looking at Tony and like, whoa. I'm letting my IWGP championship get shown on AEW week in and week out. Guys are fighting for title opportunities. You're giving guys title matches for it. But yet now my guys can't compete for the world title at Forbidden Door. Whether they win or lose, that's not the case. My guys aren't getting represented. So I'm hot about this because how are you gonna tell this and seamlessly make it make sense where it's like, well, and like Martin said, they're both baby faces. So what? Right. Who's gonna turn heel again? We're gonna turn Swerve back heel after we just had him turn face, or you're gonna have Ospreay turn heel because no one's gonna boo Ospreay. So it's like, what are we doing here? This is my gripe, and this is where you'll see me mouth off because this is where things don't make sense. Forbidden Door, the whole premise of the show is to have AEW versus New Japan versus now CML versus now Stardom. We have 5 different doors that we open for this pay-per-view. That's my gripe. The whole concept of this pay-per-view is now out the window.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And to piggyback off what you're saying real quick. So it's like, they put themselves into this corner, and like Chano said earlier, it's the same movie I've seen multiple times. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen here, guys. They're going to wrestle for 30 minutes, and they're going to call this draw, because this is what they do with all their big matches, to set up the rematch eventually, because they do it with everyone. They do it with Bryan Danielson, they do it with MJF. They're going to call the time limit draw on this championship match, and people are going to hate it, because why would you like it? And like I said, and you guys know this, I even tweeted it. When I saw that they were doing this gauntlet thing, the first thing I said, I was like, oh man, I really hope David Finley's in here.
That would have been great.
That's the biggest Japan star I could think of.
I thought Jeff Cobb. I figured Jeff Cobb, get him in the mix here.
Especially
what the fuck are we doing?
You know,
that's where my mind went because I saw those tweets. I was like, get Jeff Cobb in this, let him win. Fuck it.
So I'm sitting here, I'm like, why are we not getting Bullet Club War Dogs? Where are they at?
What are we doing?
It's just, I feel like it's so lackluster because, like we're saying, it's this AEW versus New Japan show, and I know some matches they mix them up so that way neither brand really loses. But your championship matches should be your best on one side and your best on one side. Same thing for IWGP, same thing for the AEW, and I just feel like that's the way it should be.
It should feel like Survivor Series. It should feel like Survivor Series.
And what would be a bigger slap in the face would be if Mox defends that title against an AEW star. Then what are you gonna do? Then what are you gonna say?
It's gross. Honestly, I will say that it's absolutely gross. In New Japan, wake the fuck up. You guys are getting bullied. And for the longest time ever, you were the second largest promotion in the world. And right now, you guys are looking like a minor league team. And it sucks because so many great people have come from New Japan. My all-time GOAT, Eddie Guerrero, as Black Cat, wrestled in New Japan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And everybody wrestled in Japan for the most part before coming to the E. It was a rite of passage. But overall, that's our show, guys. Mike, I have a question for all the guests that come on the show.
Sure.
So this is your first time on a weekly episode. Fourth time overall. You did 2 trivias and you did opinionated with Martin. That's on YouTube. If you had to rank us, all of us, including Marcus and Brandon, who are not here today, as baby faces and heels, who are you giving who?
Oh my God. So Zombiiking, I'm giving Zombiiking. He's a tweener. He's a tweener for sure.
Okay. I get a heel. But...
You're a tweener in my opinion. Brandy is for sure a face. Martin, man, you got heel tendencies, but like you portray a face. So like I got a lean face for Martin. Marcus is for sure a clean cut baby face.
Oh,
baby face, like the babiest of baby faces. And Chano, my guy, you're the bad guy. You're a heel. You know it. You're a heel too. You know you're a heel. You're the heel of the show.
I got a baby face one time. I was so appalled.
Yeah.
That was so appalled. I was like, "What is it? What is this here?" I think it was Martin that said I was a baby face. I'm like, Martin, what are you listening to the show correctly?
Do you listen to us?
Do you listen to us?
There was a time where we thought alike. There was a time where we thought alike.
You fell off the deep end. You fell off the fucking deep end. I was like, this guy's views is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
this guy's views. But guys, that is our show. So Martin. I mean, not Martin. Mike, you want to get your plugs out?
Yeah, you guys can follow me at MOWM_podcast on YouTube at MOWM_wrestling podcast. Make sure you follow Four Sides of the Ring and stay tuned. I got some stuff coming in the works. We got some premium live events and pay-per-views, over the course of the summer. So stay tuned. Make sure you drop me a follow and show some love to the Four Sides of the Ring boys because you'll see these faces on Mouthing Off with Mike real soon. Don't worry.
1,000%. We'll always come on.
Yes, sir.
Zombie got 3 year dates. Let's hear your plugs.
You already know Zombiiking across the board. Zombiiking on the store on X. Zombiiking 91 on YouTube. Check it out. I'm gonna be posting some new matches and stuff soon. Get on my YouTube more, so stay close attention.
Martin.
And of course, I'm the one that makes them say, "Oh damn, I'm Nitram. I'm the host of 3 Count Trivia, the host of Opinionated. I'm your favorite co-host on Four Sides of the Ring, and you can follow me at Nitram_4 SOTR. Once again, that's Nitram_4 SOTR.
How he just named himself the favorite co-host? This is crazy. This is blasphemous.
Self-appointed.
Self-appointed. And it's me, it's your boy, Chano Hayes, Chano Rhodes, Chano the God, Chano whatever you guys are feeling at this point. Listen, all I care about is his Twitter account. You can follow us at 4SIDESOTR. I won't give him Instagram because you guys don't deserve to see my cute ass son. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You guys just don't. That's the episode. Listen, it's a 2-hour episode, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. It was 2 pay-per-views. I don't know what you guys want from us at all. As always, it's your boys. Till next time.